Sweet little baby.
You sound like John Lennon.
Is that what John Lennon sounds like?
Yeah.
Yeah, fainting
like,
goat.
Talk to Yoko. Something like that. Then falls in love. That's me.
See, it just
Oh,
passes the fuck out.
like a possum? If it plays dead, you think, or it just faints? Just
No, it literally just goes like
evolutionary?
catatonic and then just tips.
Oh, I feel bad. I feel like I would scare my goat all the time.
See?
Oh.
And that one just scared itself.
Oh no! I wonder why they do that. He's gonna drown.
No, they don't like pass out. They're
Oh.
like that for like a couple seconds tops, and then they're just like, whoa, okay.
That's so weird.
It's got to be like a defense mechanism or something.
Because I thought maybe it's like a possum thing where they just play dead, you know, like
It might
other
be.
things like, oh, it's dead, but it's kind of, I don't know, if anything, I feel like it'll just stop them from moving and, you know, I don't know, gives them a chance to be preyed upon? Question mark? Tennessee wooden leg goat. That's what I call them.
4 goats of this type were brought to Tennessee in the 1880s.
And wow, these are all descended from the 4 goats.
Adam and Eve and Charlie and
Steve.
I was gonna say, oh, I guess Charlie could be a girl's name.
Yeah.
Let's see. Head, personality, coat, cause of fainting. So it's just an inherited thing.
It would, you know, it is. It kind of makes sense because usually, if you're coming just from 4, you know, it's very easy to inherit something one of those had, and then they just kept, you know, the kids kept, you know. Unfortunately, I don't think unless they were breeding with other goats as well. It was probably easy to. Well, even if they were breeding with other goats, it's probably easy to perpetuate the cause of this. So it is a disorder.
Yeah. Well, that kind of fucking. So I guess they have to be kept captive then, because obviously they would not be able to.
They wouldn't be able to.
There.
I mean, I think
But
goats
look,
in general, right?
It was found that depriving goats of water stopped them from fainting within 3 days. But then as soon as you start giving them water again, it comes back.
Well, because it's the chloride channel in the muscles. I think water affects that channel. I think. I don't know. Vaguely something remembered from biology or chemical biology.
Oh, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Missense mutation occurs in a sequence of 7 amino acids that are included in a group of closely related channels, including that of humans or rats. But that mutation caused a delay in the relaxation of the muscles after the goat has made an involuntary movement. So probably after you scare it, then it just like reflexively like jumps or whatever.
And then it's like
then it's just like fuck, I can't relax.
It's like the horse thing. It's like,
hi Mike.
hello. What is it? The horse thing where it's like scares a horse. Oh shit! Breaks all of its legs or something. If I could find that post, that'd be
Bro,
cool.
horses live such
Such
terrible lives.
Such sad lives. Yeah.
Because it's just like they just exist, and then like if anything happens to them, then it's just like I'm so sorry.
Because I don't know. It's like almost. I mean, yeah, it makes sense in the wild. You know, if something breaks its leg, it's gonna have a hard time getting away from predators. But I guess horses just their health declines so fast if they break something, particularly their legs.
But like,
I don't know.
if they're in captivity, couldn't you just
nurse it back?
yeah take care of them?
You could try, but I guess most people think, you know, like, oh, cost benefit analysis. You know, it's gonna cost a lot of money to nurse the health of this horseback, and it will never run the same or walk the same. So goodbye.
That's what they get for having little stick legs.
Yeah. So Unfortunate. I don't keep any horses, but...
Oh, you don't?
I don't.
This is gonna work out.
Okay. I think my hair looks... I was telling Maya my hair looks like a little horse tail thing when it's up this high.
It's a little ponytail.
There you go.
Sorry, I'm doing that thing. I'm marketing myself like some kind of common whore.
I feel like, oh, I did not part. Never mind. My hair down the middle very well, but oh well. It's gonna have to be messy. I was too lazy to style it. Trying to think of other.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Fucking Mike with the.
I've heard of that.
The essay. Back in the day, people used to barbecue horse ribs because it would be a waste of meat to just kill and not eat a horse when it was no longer useful. I think people now still eat horse meat in certain places.
I think that's where we get the saying "hungry enough to eat a horse." So, I think
that sounds about right. That sounds fair. I don't know enough.
But it makes sense because you wouldn't if you have to kill it. But the only thing that's wrong with it is the broken leg. You know, nothing else is wrong with it. It's still edible. I can't judge. I've eaten alligator and rattlesnake, so very strange. I've tried very strange meats over the years.
I think the strangest thing that I've tried is like snake or shark.
Yeah. I've tried frog.
I want to try frog.
It's interesting.
Frog legs.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Chitlings.
I think that's the weirdest thing I've had. Oh yeah, I've heard of that too. I don't think it is. I don't think a lot of people still use it anymore because they were deemed it was like unethical or I don't know.
Probably because if you're mass producing something like dog food and you're using horse meat for it, I don't think you have enough horse death to ethically produce that much dog food.
Unless you're raising them on farms, I guess, but
then even
agriculture industry is such a mess.
I feel like people would not just like kill the horses that they're raising. You had an alligator chili? Where the fuck are you?
California.
California.
I don't know. Where can you get alligator here? I feel like you could though.
Oh, probably.
California is just such a.
It's a sweet little boiling
food place.
Little boiling. What is it? Mixing pot.
Yeah, boiling. I mean, it kind of is. Yeah, in the summer.
Sorry, I was thinking of chili. Okay.
Okay.
I think that is all of my networking done. I don't know. We were gonna talk about like parents, but I don't know.
It's up to you.
I don't know. I don't really feel like talking about that, so I don't know what we're gonna talk about.
Do you still want to do representation in the media? I don't know. What specifically do we talk about? Just how like people were shitting on
Chinatown at a Creole restaurant.
Oh,
that sounds pretty good.
We went to Chinatown around Chinese New Year's. It was very nice. That's how I got your little apple. Yeah. Yeah, I was like... Every time I remember those memories, I'm like, why wasn't anyone wearing any masks? And then I was like, wait a minute.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah. Whew. It's going to be very hard for me to go back, I think. Oh, no, it's okay. I think I'm always going to be paranoid. I'm like, until like... I'm gonna keep wearing a mask until like 2049 at this rate.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna keep wearing a mask probably for a good hot like minute, just because I'd be
too nervous.
We should be doing that in general. I feel like just
for...
like all the Asian countries and shit. Also, you can put your bowl on the table if you want.
Oh, I didn't want to leave a mark.
It doesn't matter. I'll just wipe it off.
It's okay.
Put it up. It's easier.
It's fine here.
It's easier to reach.
No, it's okay.
It's easier to reach.
It's okay.
Easier to reach.
Okay. I should get you coasters. I can make you coasters. I know how, because I watch craft YouTube channels.
5 Minute Crafts?
Yes. No. I'm going to get ramen and just use that as a coaster. Yeah.
There's I followed a TikTok profile with like some, I think they're
British because it sounds like very like distinctly British.
Mhm.
But what they do, like, they just watch the 5-minute crafts videos and just comment about how fucking terrible they are. And I think it's a good content source because they're just gonna keep mass producing their stupid little projects and whatever.
It's just so bizarre. Like I remember we were losing at the ramen one because that was like a stamp or something. It was just very racist.
Yes. Oh my god, that one blew me the fuck away.
Yeah. I don't know if I should explain.
I don't. It can't. Is that real? Is that allowed?
I don't think so. But basically, 5-minute crafts took some ramen, scribbled over on it with like a Sharpie until like I guess one side
until
of
it was like
black.
Yeah, until it was essentially like a stamp.
Like a little stamp, and then stamps it, and then magically gets like
Chinese
was it Chinese
writing.
or Korean? Yeah, Chinese characters. I was like, what?
And I was like,
fuck?
holy shit, this is the most racist thing I've ever seen.
That's not what it's gonna look like if you
Where did I
stamp
send it
that.
to you? Did I text it to you?
You texted it to me, yeah. You were like, can you believe this shit? Yeah. Awful. Very awful. But the one that also got me was when it was like the girl and she was like, oh no, I got like pudgy like thighs or a stomach. So guess what I'm gonna do, folks? I'm gonna wrap myself in saran wrap. And that's
Okay,
it.
so that one I like kind of understood because it's essentially like a walking
from.
sauna, but that's not gonna work.
But I was like, what the fuck? And that was it. There was like no explanation. She was like, I'm all wrapped up in saran wrap and then walking around like very weird. I don't know. What an awful source of content.
I'm trying to find it. That's oh, there's the sensual one.
I love I was having a time that night. I felt so crackhead energy. We found it.
I think it's this one, yeah. Let me see if I can. Cause there's a. I downloaded a program a while ago, which essentially just lets me mirror my phone. Hi, Rivia.
Hello.
Continue trial and. Oh, fuck off.
I can always just hold it up to the camera.
I don't think I have a USB cable. Fuck off. It's on Ethernet. What am I supposed to do?
I don't know.
Ew. Get this out of here.
I don't know.
My local mirroring pin code 0109.
Oh, sorry,
No, you're fine.
Stepped on ya.
Oh, let me see if I can just do that.
That work?
I guess we'll find out. It did not.
Oh, also, welcome to the last stream of 2020. We made it. We made it when did we start? In June? July?
This?
August. No. Yes. It was after August, I think. September?
That's a good
Sounds
question.
about right. It was September.
How do I close this?
I have no idea. Sorry.
Check for updates? No.
Oh, there's a lake splitting right there. Oh,
Oh.
there's.
Exit the program. Okay, so I'm just gonna try and show it to you guys like this because I can't do it any other way. But
Okay.
so this is like normal in
She's gonna wrap
whatever.
herself in saran wrap.
So yeah. Like obviously it's awful. She's wrapping herself in her saran wrap and she can barely fucking walk and she's like, no, this is fine. And then this one,
Oh, yeah.
I forgot what this one was.
It's like a little, you just drink it.
Oh
like
yeah,
straw.
that one's awful. This one made me feel
disgusting.
bad.
This is the racist one.
Yeah, so here she like she scribbles on it and then
what
just
the
gets
fuck?
Chinese characters.
What the
That's
fuck?
I-
Awful.
th-
So racist.
I had never seen anything like that before from 5 Minute Crafts. Like 5 Minute Crafts is bad. Like it's just like
the scum of 5 Minute Crafts.
Yeah, like they're already bad because it's like shit that like obviously either is not 5 minutes or it's just like it's easier to just go to the store and like buy the thing that you need instead of like spending all this time and resources to make like a half-assed one. And then this one just came out of nowhere with just like blatant racism, and I was like, whoa!
That one was just racist. Oh. Also, I forgot about the awful hot dog one. Like, why would you use a drill on a hot dog and then use the hot dog like a spoon? Straw.
What? Okay.
We don't have time to unpack all that.
We're moving on.
I'm sorry.
I didn't even realize. Yeah, I didn't even think about the drill part.
Why the fuck would you drill?
I was just
a weenie dog. Why?
I felt
Why?
the because it looks like he's stirring milk.
He was drinking milk.
He's drinking milk through a straw that he made out of a hot dog.
A hot dog.
Disgusting.
Very cursed. Very awful. Anywho, I'm glad we're all on the same page about 5 Minute Crafts. Please ignore my spoon straw slip up.
If we had to see it, you guys have to see it.
How are they still a thing? I don't understand. They're based in Europe, right? Or somewhere in Europe?
They've gotta be.
I think. Yeah.
There's definitely like products and stuff that I see in some of their like craft videos that are definitely not American. So I think either some of them are based in Europe or all of it is based in Europe.
Bad.
But it should be based in the
do not subscribe.
Trash can.
Honestly, I'll never get over that though. I don't think the blatant racism when they were like, "Ooh."
Yeah, that one threw me for
ramen?
a loop.
But also, but speaking of the TikToks, I was gonna say I do love that the opposite ends of the mood spectrum for me, because while that one 5 Minute Crafts makes me feel dread, the sensual wrestling possum one makes me feel so elated.
Those dudes off screen, they're fucking
not wrestling.
They're fucking
not wrestling
for sure.
But so many comments on that TikTok were like, what am I supposed to pay attention to? Because the camera moves to a little kid swinging the possum around, but you still see the guys sensually wrestling in the corner. I forgot about that. I forgot about that one momentarily, so thank you for refreshing me.
They're guaranteed engaging in activities.
I sent it from Tumblr, so it might be weird. Because I don't have TikTok.
No, you're fine.
They're definitely...
Yeah, they're definitely fucking.
We can get some info.
So... the kid in the back is swinging around a possum.
He has a baby possum.
But these two dudes in front are definitely fucking. Look at the way he like sits back. There's no way they're not fucking.
They're not wrestling at that point, I don't think. They're just kissing in the corner.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, stop messing with the possum.
Stop messing with the possum.
Stop,
You two,
put it
stop
down.
messing around, please. God.
I hate this fucking family. The possum is like the family pet. But yeah, the little kid's just like, such a good energy. That one just brings me so much joy.
Oh wait, that was playing Wrecking Ball, huh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to delete this VOD.
Why? Oh, sorry. But it
No.
was like high pitched. It was like edited, so it was like high pitched.
Was it?
Yeah, I was like. Sorry, that
sounded like a
doesn't
mosquito.
clarify me.
That.
Oh. Wait, you just made me think of I'm sorry, I'm thinking of a lot of videos. Have you seen I think I sent it to you. What's the Eurovision? There's like a guy who performed for Eurovision, and he has like a really high pitched voice. And someone was like, "Oh, when I hear like a mosquito in my room," and he's just like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's just like, I don't know, repeatedly like screaming at the microphone. Like it looks like with such force, but then it's like a high pitched little. I don't know how to describe it. I'm sorry, But that's what
Eurovision is filled with stuff like that.
That's how it was. That's how it was edited. It sounded a little bit like that. So, there you go.
Yeah, but Sam was right. I don't know if high pitched is gonna be enough. But
sorry.
No, it's fine. I'll just.
It was my fault for saying you guys also have to see this video too.
What is going on?
What happened?
A lot of my friends are.
Is it drama from the Discord?
No, it was the. I don't know. There's just a lot. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
But yeah, we had a few topics that we were like, oh, we should talk about that on the podcast. But then now we're here, and it's just like, I don't know. I feel like I'm not gonna have a lot of good insight for it.
For what?
I don't know for either of them.
We could talk a little bit about them.
We could talk about the parent one.
Show
I think the parent
I
one.
don't think you can show.
I would be killed on the spot.
Oh wait, yeah, maybe I shouldn't show mine.
Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll just talk about it.
Okay.
So okay.
Show a picture. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I think this is actually a pretty good segue because we're just like talking about TikToks and stuff, and then.
Oh
the
yeah,
TikTok
TikTok. Yeah, that's true.
There was a TikTok that I saw a while ago, with this Hispanic person, and they had gotten a septum piercing, and they went to show their mom, and they were like, "Mom, look, I got a septum piercing," and their mom was not.
Basically flipped her shit.
Yeah, basically. I was gonna like euphemize it a little bit, but no, she did. She flipped her shit.
I'm not very eloquent.
Me neither. You also think straws is fine. But yeah, like her mom like lost her mind. It was like, it's like you don't care about your family. It's like you don't care how people see you, and started like crying over a fucking septum piercing. And like I saw that, and I didn't really think much of it in the first place because that's kind of how my brother and I were brought up in our family, where it was very much just like, oh, like your body belongs to your like parents. And so if you do anything to your body, first of all, can't do it unless you ask your parents and get permission. And if you do get it and then like show your parents after, then like shit hits the fan, and then you have to deal with a lot more. But then I was scrolling TikTok a few days later, and this guy had basically taken that initial TikTok and was like, why do parents do this? Like, why? Actually, I'll just fucking play it. I already played. We like already 8 played of them.
Like 2. Sorry, I'm messing with my hair.
No, you're fine. Where was it? Did I text it to you too?
Yeah, you did. Playing around with my hair, guys.
We just text each other a lot.
Yeah.
We're like in love or whatever. Blink twice if you need help. God, my arm was tired.
Oh, sorry. I could have held it.
Nah.
To work my little chicken arms out. I forgot to show you something. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I also don't know how old she is. So
old enough to get a piercing, you have to be 18 or up, right?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
You have to be an adult, I think, to get it yourself.
Yeah.
And clearly her mom didn't. No adult was with her. I don't think.
That's a fair point.
I think.
So.
Am I Benedict Cumberbatch? Because I feel like Sherlock. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I had a visceral reaction to that.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, so basically the point is like he provides the question for us. Why And like I'll expand it to not even just Latina families, but
although I do have a good theory, but continue.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of families, a lot of FOC, families of color, treat a lot of fuck.
Sorry.
I feel like they treat their kids the same, where it's very much like your body, my rules. So it's like if you get a tattoo, you have to you have to ask us before you get it, and then they're probably gonna tell you no. If you want to get a piercing, you probably have to ask them, and they're probably gonna tell you no, just because they want to keep your body like unmarked or whatever, for whatever godforsaken reason. I'm not gonna be sacrificing my body to anything that requires my body to be clean. I do.
Oh. He does keep his body clean and safe.
We're gonna pretend that didn't escape my mouth.
He does take care.
I take nothing.
You were doing. I don't know. You're taking good care of yourself. That's what you meant to say.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you're saying. I do. I already ingest plenty of things that have adverse effects on my health and body. So it's like, I think it's because, I think there's like a very large, difference in perspective between our parents, who I think are fairly all around like boomer age, and us.
Because my mom was born in 68 and my dad was 68 AD. That's how old my dad is.
Yeah. Or, I don't know when my parents were born, but like 60s-ish.
I think
like 65 and 67.
Yeah.
So very like around that like boomer age. Whereas we are millennials?
I always say we're like on a cusp because we were very late 90s. Like I was 97, so I didn't even really get to experience the 90s. I was only 3. So I say we're like kind of in the middle. Because we definitely didn't grow up with the internet. We were born before the advent of the internet, but we were also young. Yeah, we were also young enough too. Like we were born before Google, which is kind of crazy and weird to think about. But yeah. Oh so I would say, yeah, we weren't born with that already being well established, but we were there to witness it at a very early age. So I don't know. I always say we're here. I don't know. Yeah.
We are of, explicitly a younger generation. Like
I think so.
Obviously because we were born after our parents, and it's what, like a 30-year difference, but like our parents had us when they were like around like 30 or so.
Right.
So if we I don't know, like I can't even begin to like postulate a theory as to like why they see our bodies as their like property, and why they think that we can't do to our body what we want to do, And it's like they've got piercings too, like our parents have piercings and stuff, and it's just like why can you pierce your shit and not me?
Yeah. I don't know. I was going to say, I think it really is, I mean, I think like the more obvious assumption is that, it's a product, this issue is a product of like such a difference in timing. Like when our parents were our age, I think their parents also had that same mindset, but also not a lot of people, not a lot of friends or family were doing any body modification. So it's just something I don't think they're really exposed to at a young age, and also kind of already had instilled in them from other family members or parents. So that was I feel like that would be the easiest explanation, just a product of the times. I don't know how widespread body modification was in general when they were our age. I think it's way more widespread now. I know so many tattoo artists and so many friends who are undergoing mentorships to like become tattoo artists.
But then I think that asks the question then, like, if they're just underexposed to it and aren't sure about like that whole process or whatever, then where does that aversion come from? Why are they so against it?
I know we talked a lot about this last stream, but I was going to say, I think a little bit of it has to do with colonialism, because when you look at indigenous cultures, body modification is very extremely widespread. Like you've seen Maori tattoos, right? And how they're just covered from head to toe almost in tattoos. So it definitely has been around for a long time in a lot of societies and a lot of cultures. But I think when, we hit kind of the age of imperialism, where a lot of Europeans, specifically religious Europeans, were settling into new, into these new spaces and places that were already preoccupied by these indigenous groups. They really saw that as something that was like, oh, that body modification? God doesn't like that. These people are savages and we're not. So, and we're, morally, we don't modify our bodies because God made us in his image and, we're already perfect. I know that's a big excuse in Latina parents, like, God made you, you're perfect. Why would you want to fix that or modify that or change that in any way? So I think they really instilled these views in these, settler societies that, at least for sure, I think in Latino, a lot of Latin American and Mesoamerican communities, European religious settlers spread this ideal that body modification is abnormal and it's immoral and it's frowned upon. And yeah, I would say that I can't say that for all folk families of color, but for Latino communities and families, I think that's where it comes from. I think it's really that. It really goes back to colonialism, which I know is kind of convoluted, but it kind of makes sense when you think about it.
I think that's a pretty solid thing.
Yeah, because if you think about it, because I was thinking about it, and I was like, indigenous people were always doing body modification, always, constantly. It was, sometimes it was a rite of passage. So it was never frowned upon until these ideals were really pushed and became widespread. And yeah, so I would say that was the theory that popped into my head when
that's a pretty solid theory.
When he was asking like, oh, why do Latinos freak out or Latino parents freak out when their kids do body modification?
The guy in the TikTok.
Yeah. So I think that's why. I think because we're just so heavily influenced by the colonial times that it really shifted our that view of body modification to one of it was Catholic and good and pure. Yeah,
purity
don't
is a big
modify,
part of it.
Yeah, don't modify what God already made. It's perfect.
Yeah, and I think that because Rivia mentioned stereotypes and stuff. I think it's because there was a bad connotation of body modification during their time.
Right.
Like the stereotype that people with lots of tattoos and piercings are bad or up to no good. And I think that yours is probably the start. So the colonialism is the start, and then they use movies and media and stuff to kind of perpetuate that and say, oh, it's not just like, it's kind of like an underhanded like racism tactic, I would say, or colonialism tactic, where it's just like, oh, if you see anyone with tattoos, that means that they're bad or they're up to no good. And then you see like native people who have like those kinds of tattoos and stuff, that kind of body modification, and then because of the media, then you're like, oh,
bad.
Yeah, sorry, I was burping.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, so I really think that's why for I guess quite a few folk family of color, because a lot of those cultures and societies and people of color were heavily colonized and influenced. Yeah.
My siblings and I were talking about this topic and said boomer generation trip over tats and piercings, and the new generation of parents are tripping over gender realignment. I guess that makes sense.
Reassignment?
Not reassignment, but just kind of like the whole like gender struggle kind of thing.
Oh,
so
yeah,
will Gen Zers encounter furries? We already have furries, Mike. There's no, it's not gonna be a new thing that we're struggling over.
Would you freak out if your kid was a furry?
Man, I would be like, okay, listen, like, not happy that you're a furry, but show me who made you a furry. Show me the character.
Balto.
like first of all,
out.
if my child somehow knew what the fuck Balto was, I'd be like, where the fuck did you find out about Balto? This movie from like years ago, probably. But then, okay, so if they came up to me and they were like, oh yeah, like Balto or whatever, I'd be like, okay, fine, whatever. Just like, don't spend too much money on it that you don't have to spend.
Yeah.
And then if they were like, oh, like it was like Lugosi from like Beastars, I'd be like,
hell
fuck yeah, dude. But I would say the same thing. But like, if it was like, I don't know, Spirit the horse or something, I'd be like, get out of my, go to your room. I'm not having a horse furry in my fucking house.
I don't know. For me, it wouldn't bother me as much since I don't know if I mentioned this, but I have a newfound respect for furries, the furry community. Hey, they've been supporting artists. They've been carrying artists.
Oh no,
for
a
very long time.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know, someone flipped it on me and was like, "Oh, most of the community is made of minors, but you only hear about the adults that make it weird and fetishy. So don't make it weird and fetishy when they're, it's widely minors that are participating as furries." So I was like, "Okay, cool. All right. I'm cool with furries as long as they're not into like weird fucked up shit or hurting people." But anywho, if my kid came out
one might argue that furries already is a weird and fucked up thing.
Because to me, the way I see it now is, because at first, or I think a lot of people, the assumption is, we're talking about furries, but the assumption is like, furry, attracted to animals in some way. I guess they equate it to bestiality. But to me, I'm like, I feel like furries is just really, you just like anthropomorphizing, animals in your art or in costumes. And it's not really that weird if you think about it.
Yes and no, because there are definitely furries who are like anthropomorphic animals, but then it also progresses into being attracted to like actual animals and stuff.
Right.
And I think we actually talked about this before too, where we were saying that where it's just like if you wanted to, engage in activities with with an anthropomorphic horse, then who's to say that you would like. You're projecting a minor level of insecurity of wanting to fuck an animal and turning it into, like, a humane kind of thing where you would be more allowed to fuck it.
Because I remember I said that I think the reason why is, like, the reason why so many bronies wanted to engage in sexual acts with these animated horses was because there was this idea that it is, as close to human as it's gonna get. I think, is that what I said? It was like, it maybe doesn't necessarily mean you want to get with a real life horse. Maybe it just means, you're presented with this idea of a horse that can talk and also consent to your sex acts. So that was the appeal, I guess. Does that make sense? So, I mean, I feel like that's why a lot of people want to do animated characters. So,
but then I think like the next level up from that is why a cartoon horse,
I feel like those people want
to fuck a horse. I'm so glad we're on the same page.
But other things, as other animated or anthropomorphized animals as well. But this is off track. I was gonna say, if my child was a furry, I'd be fine with it as long as they're not spending exorbitant amounts of money on fursuits and art.
Fursuits are very expensive.
Yeah, that was it. That was my whole point. Full
circle,
but
furries are like, except for the weird ones, furries are extremely respectful. Like they care a lot about like the art that like the artists that they commission and stuff. The fursuits obviously are like worth a lot of money and they'll pay up. They like always pay up and they always make sure that the artists that they're commissioning and the people that they're asking to like make their things for them are paid duly and justly, which I think is like a really like cool and like it's a really good part of that like community.
Yeah.
I just personally do not want to fuck animals.
Okay.
Didn't know where you were going. I did not know what you were gonna say. I got so scared.
It's like, okay. But yeah, I was gonna say I feel like that's most of the community. I feel like they're in general mostly respectful people that don't really bother anyone. But I think the reason they get a bad rap is because we hear about the bad apples or, the bad part of the group. That really sets up a name for the community. So that's why I was
vocal minority.
That's why I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna. I won't shit on furries anymore. They're not. I can't understand it, but
Yeah, like I don't want to shit on furries either, but also like, Brona Kamjar, like you can't not shit on that.
Yeah, I guess.
But that's all like obviously
bronies are a very specific subset.
I think that's a fair point. It's a lot of like vocal minority kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Mike says I think they think they're werewolves and shit, which is a lifestyle.
Some do. Yeah,
some do. Most don't. I think. Most I think
it's just for fun. For most people.
I think it's like a fun. Because I mean,
cosplay really.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that a lot of people wish they were animals, and not like in a weird like sexual way, but just like you look at a fucking cat, and you're just like,
I too want to lay in the sun.
To be a young little cat.
Yeah.
Perched upon this moss-covered rock. There's like an appeal to being an animal and not being bound by like gross human laws and whatever.
Like capitalism.
Yeah. And so I think some of it stems from that. And so it's like people want to be an animal, and then I feel like cosplay as a whole, like anime characters, game characters, whatever, like whether you're human all the way up to like animal or monster or whatever, I think that is very rooted in like escapist theory, where it's just like, obviously you're dressing up as another character because you don't want to be in your normal life anymore. You want to embody somebody else.
That's why I cosplay.
Well, I don't cosplay. I'm lazy and broke. But
it's okay.
Yeah, it is. I know. But I think that's like what that is. And so if we're going into like, that idea of like furryism, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I think it's an escalation of an otherwise normal behavior.
Right.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. An escalation.
We're done, guys.
Yeah, wrap it up.
But yeah, I think it makes sense. I feel like for most it's really a hobby, but I guess yeah, I don't know. It is definitely like an escapism, as with other cosplay.
So yeah, it's escapist, but escapist theory also doesn't mean that you don't like your life. It's very much just like, you can love your job to bits and pieces. It could be your dream job, but you're still gonna want to take a break. You're still going to want to like take some time away from this thing that you love so much. So it's like, you can be living your life and everything can be great. Everything can like be moving wonderfully. But sometimes you just want to not be you. Sometimes you just want to like take a break from everything and just kind of step back and be able to do something else, live like an alternate life. Same thing with like video games, the porn.
Okay.
This is a Christian stream. Sorry.
Yeah.
We don't watch porn here. We do porn.
What's that supposed to mean? Don't like those implications. But
what? I was actually gonna tell you this later. I set up an OnlyFans account for us.
Really?
No.
Wow, we're gonna make so much.
We probably could.
We probably could actually.
Thinking about it.
But anywho, yeah. Where was I gonna go with that? Yeah. I was gonna say it could just, it could be taken to the extreme where it's like where someone does want to embody this character or thing to a really extreme level, but yeah, I think also it could just be like, maybe you just like costumes and you heard of furries and you're like, wow, that sounds fun. So that's what you want to do in your free time. You just want to make a fursuit, or have collaborate with other people to make stuff in this community. So I don't know. I feel like we always really, aside from the fact that we always really hear about the bad apples, we always also think about the extreme, like, oh my god, these people are obsessed with anthropomorphized animals.
Yeah.
So I think it could very much be like a casual thing. I don't know how to describe it.
I think it could also just be like, maybe this kid is like, just experimenting, fucking around on like social media and whatever, and then they see like the idea of furries or somebody like dressed up in like a fursuit, and they're like, "Wow, that seems pretty cool." Like,
some fursuits are actually very well made.
Oh yes, the Five Nights at Freddy's ones.
Oh yeah,
insane.
Would that count as furry though, or as cosplay? Because it is for something not inherently furry, but it is kind of anthropomorphized. But I guess you still have to use the same idea, the same model as the fursuit.
Yeah.
It is,
That's what I was about to say.
Oh, sorry. I apologize for interrupting.
But yeah, I think it's like it could just be something that they like experimented with and had like a minor experience with and wanted to like pursue for a little bit longer, and they just kind of like started feeling like at home there because I don't know, maybe it was a welcoming community.
Yeah, and I see a lot of art and people make their own comics and stuff. A lot of artists, I think are always making their own furry. Are you okay? You heard a smell? A lot of like their own furry OCs, and I'm like, wow, that art is super cool. That's a really cool OC. I don't know. So it can be very much like just a very fun hobby, I think. And yeah, I just really like how we went from tattoos to furries. But yeah. Anywho, if my kid was furry, I'd be cool with it. Kid came home with a tattoo, also be cool with it.
Yeah,
I think.
As long as it's not like a. Like, I mean, obviously, there's limits to everything, Like, if my kid came home and was like, oh, Dad, I'm a furry, I'd be like, cool, whatever. And then if he was like, yeah, my persona's name is, like, Adolf and likes to eat dogs, I'd be like, pause. What the fuck did you just say? Like, hold on, let's unpack that real quick.
Right.
And then, like, if they came home with a tattoo, I'd be like, great, whatever. Pop off. Sick cat, dude. I don't know. But then if they came home with like sleeves or
no,
if they came home with sleeves, I'd be like, sick. How much did you spend on that?
Yeah, I'd be like, where'd you get that money?
Yeah, like, are you?
Unless so they talk to me and like, oh, I'd like this for my birthday or Christmas gift, and I like paid for it. Then yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'm assuming I'm assuming that they just like come home like with it or like come out about it like apropos of nothing. But if they come home with like white supremacy tattoos or whatever, then I'm like,
that's true.
We're gonna take that off, or we're gonna cover it up, and then we're gonna talk a lot about what's going on here,
right?
Because there's clearly an issue at hand that we have not discovered previously and have not discussed. Because there's certain things in this world that are okay, and a lot of things in this world that are not.
Yeah,
and that right there is one of the things that's not. So
yeah, if my kid was white supremacist, I feel like at that point I really have to examine what I hate having to not control, but have to be a little invasive to be like, where is my kid getting this? Are they spending too much time online?
Also, we're literally not white, so like
so I'd be like, what the fuck?
I'd be like, you're not white. Get that shit off of you.
I was like, son, I hate to break this to you, but you can't be Nazi. Not because you don't believe in the ideology, but because you're literally they literally won't let you in. Yeah.
But yeah, that's like I feel like I don't know.
It's case to case.
Case to case for sure.
Yeah, and I'd hope that my future kid, God forbid, if we have kids, would be comfortable enough to tell me like, hey, I want to get a tattoo. What do you think of this design? Or what do you think of this? Or I'm really excited to get this. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I like that design. It's really very neat and very, it's something that makes you happy, then sure. That's how my mom treated it. My mom is also Latina, but was surprisingly handled it with a lot of grace. The only thing she said was like, oh, I didn't expect it to be that big. And I was like, sorry, Mom, go big or go home. But that was it. She was just very like, I know, it's a tattoo of the Iron Giant. And she was like, you're my kid. You've lived with me your whole life. I know how much that movie means to you. So, I'm glad I made you happy. But my dad's on the opposite spectrum. It's really weird living with two parents who are on such opposite spectrums, like so far from each other in terms of like, me living back home and tattoos and my lifestyle, I guess. I don't know. Just very weird. But yeah, my mom was never I feel like she did, when she was really young, I feel like she did kind of grow up with that mindset, like, oh, my body belongs to my parents, or, I don't know how to describe that. I know it sounds pretty bad when I say it like that, but
I mean, like, that is, I think, how, or at least my parents, that's how they want us to think. Like,
right.
when Grady got a tattoo before, and I think I told you about this. Grady got a tattoo before, and they, took him to surgically remove it. And when I...
Oh, wait, I think it is here now.
Yeah. When I asked them about it later, like, they told us that, like, yeah, you're our children, which means that your bodies are, like, are ours to do with what we want, and we don't want you to do things that we don't want you guys to do. And it's very much the idea of, like, they want us to think that our bodies are theirs to quote-unquote control.
Right.
So I don't think, like, yeah, it sounds bad, but I think that that's, like, a very common ideology.
Again, because the whole, like, immoral, purity, God made you in his image, for religious parents.
Yeah. But even if they're not religious, I feel like that idea is still very pervasive because there's, like, so much, like, religion that surrounds us.
Yeah, it's definitely perpetuated by religion. So my question to my mom would be, how did you unlearn that? How did you unlearn? And I guess, like, to kind of answer it, she really had to make her own life here, separate from family. So I'm sure she was exposed to all kinds of people and all kinds of ideologies.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, okay. I think that's why. I'm not sure. I'd have to ask her. But, being an immigrant and being a nurse, she kind of meets a lot of people from all kinds of backgrounds. So I think that's why she ultimately really didn't care that I got a tattoo, because she was like, if it made you happy, it made you happy.
Yeah, I think that's a, like, solid way of putting it, just because, like, obviously my brother and I grew up here, and obviously we grew up making our own friends and having our own lives and stuff, building our own identities with the people that we met, like, in our own lives, and that allowed us to kind of be separate from family. So our experience was very much like, you see your schoolmates, you see your friends, you see people that aren't your family more often than you do your family, because it's just, like, school and work and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think that we were born into just being able to, like, make our own lives like that. And so we are born and raised with, like, a very American, like, perspective, where it's just kind of like, we are our own individual bodies, and we can do with it as we'd like, as long as we're pertaining to, like, government laws and stuff, which is, like, you got to be 18 if you want to do it yourself, or you have to ask for parental permission or guardian's permission. And I think that that's, like, the most important part of it is that there's that divide in culture. And it, like, I think an important thing is that you have to be willing to learn, obviously. Like, my parents obviously also work, and so they see a lot of other people, and they run into a lot of different people too. But I think that they're so centered in their own culture and everything that even though they're exposed to so many different kinds of people, on one hand, like, it's probably people around their age that they're meeting too for the first time. And so because they're meeting people around their age, they're sharing the same, like, ideas and, like, belief systems and stuff. And so it doesn't really push them out of it. But even if it does, then they probably wouldn't be willing to learn. They'd just be like, oh, that person's, like, too, like, new fashioned for us, as opposed to, like, old fashioned, where we can just get along with them and not have to, like, change our ideas or whatever. And so the new fashioned people just kind of get, like, pushed to the side and make their own friends with other new fashioned people, whereas the old fashioned people just stick with the other old fashioned people, because at this point in their lives, it's too late for them to try and change.
And as much as there are many problems and issues in the U.S. of A, I think one thing, like, I guess what is kind of a positive influence is definitely the idea of individualism in this country, which is not very present in a lot of other cultures, for better or worse. But the idea that, we're very, I think I talked about this in sociology way back when, how in this culture we're very centered on the self. I was like,
put some chapstick on.
I was like, why are you looking like that? Am I making a bad point?
No, I'm just.
But yeah. So I think that's something that if you didn't grow up with, it's going to be very hard for you to accept that we are our own person. We have bodily autonomy. We have, we should have control over, things that pertain to our body, like our gender, the way we present ourselves, body modification. And that's just not very present in other cultures. They're very
focused on, community, family versus the self. And not to say that's a bad thing, but I think that's why we're so open to body modification here and now versus other older generations that come from cultures that are more heavily focused on everything but the self,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more like
On the
yourself as a
elders.
whole. Yeah. But I think, I don't know, I feel like a lot of indigenous groups do get the best of both worlds with that. They really get the idea of community, family, the sense of being a part of something, but also the idea that you are free to express yourself, especially in terms of gender. You're free to express yourself however you want, and body modification really comes with that territory. So, yeah.
Speaking of the like gender identity and stuff, I heard recently about this gender identity called, I think, Two-Spirit.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
Two-Spirit. Yeah.
Which is it was new to
Native
me.
American.
Yeah. And somebody was concerned that, like, identifying as Two-Spirit is kind of like culturally appropriative, because it's like it is a very like Native American thing. So
Right,
obviously,
right.
if you're not Native American, like is identifying as Two-Spirit like a problem. But like that aside, like it just goes to show that, like, as you said, Native Americans and stuff, like those kind of like indigenous tribes and whatever, all are far more like I guess progressive is a good enough term for it.
Yeah. Or, they were always planning to be like these savage, primitive people, and then we really,
But they're
at least
fucking doing
I had
better than
to,
us.
I had to unlearn that, I think. But in terms of their own societies and their own culture, they were very, very ahead of their time, very different from religious, especially Catholic. Oh, I could go off about Catholicism today. I've been thinking about it, and I was like, oh, it was so weird being raised Catholic, and then having all my family members be, or, not immediate family members, but having all my relatives be Catholic, and I'm like, it's not great.
I went
Not great in terms of its pervasiveness and how much it's been used to manipulate people. But also the Catholic Church is so corrupt, and there's so many people in power that freely abuse, so many pedophiles in power that freely abuse children and women just because, I forgot who put it, who said it? Someone said it really, really well. I don't think it was Duncan Trussell. Maybe it was Duncan Trussell, where he was like, when you put men in positions of unquestionable authority, you're gonna get shit like this, and it's gonna be rampant, so rampant in those communities. So,
I think
sorry, fuck Catholicism a little bit. Sorry.
I think if you put
I gotta say it.
anyone in a position of unquestionable authority,
Yeah.
you're gonna get something like that. Just
Right.
because if no one can question you, the power will go to your head.
Right.
Almost guaranteed.
I guess he was just, I guess, highlighting really men, because it is patriarchy.
Yes.
It is very, we don't think about it, but then we're like, holy shit, yeah, we do put these guys on a pedestal, and we don't, they could be abusing our kids for all we know, and we're like, oh, no, he's a priest. He's fine. He's
a
not.
priest. He can't do anything
He can't
wrong.
do anything wrong.
He listens to God.
And even if they did, in a lot of those cases where they do find out these priests are molesting these kids, they put the blame on the kid versus the parent is like, oh, sorry, like I can't, like I'm responsible for this now, so I can't blame you. So I think, Catholicism just really fucked up a good portion of the world, I think. Now.
I think
I've been very angry because I've been raised Catholic, and I wish I knew these things.
very.
Sorry to go off on a tangent, but yeah. Corrupt?
No, because I'm thinking about rape culture.
Like victim blaming?
Yeah, and I don't know if, because the Catholic Church has obviously been around for
it's been around
a billion years.
Yeah, and it's
since the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So it's like
AD, before Jesus was even born, Catholicism was there.
Yeah. Somebody had already conceptualized it, and then Jesus came along. They were like, wait. But so I don't know. It's like, do you think that the church kind of perpetuated that cycle of like rape culture and victim blaming, or
I think so. Yeah.
were they just kind of like two things that existed together that just so happened to like be in the same area?
I think it really influenced it. Yeah.
Because there's no separation of church and state. It's all a lie.
Yeah. Because you know, when you can freely abuse people and no one will question your authority, the fault, you know, people will be like, oh, we have to blame something. We have to blame someone in the situation. They'll usually blame the victim. Yeah, so I would say it definitely influenced it. You know, maybe there's some interplay going on between the two.
Some intercourse?
I hope not, but yeah, so I think there's definitely a lot of that, you know, victim blaming and rape culture really is founded in
The church.
Catholicism, in the church.
Yeah.
The awful.
It's a rough truth.
It's rough, yeah. But yeah, that's what got the indigenous people on this continent so fucked up. It's Catholicism.
Yeah. But that's just colonialism, too.
Yeah, it's colonialism, but in general, Catholicism.
Yeah. I feel like if you trace back the roots of like colonialism and stuff, like you end up at the church anyway.
Yeah.
Because the church just
you're
wanted
spreading.
to,
You want to. Yeah.
spread
Sorry.
the word of God.
Yeah, and going full circle, I think that was the biggest thing that really set up the mindset of no body modification. Just because, because you were made in God's image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
If you sully yourself with a tattoo or with a
will go to
piercing,
hell.
you're going to hell. I was like, okay, Father Steve. I'm not going to hell for molesting kids. Yeah.
We have sullied God's image if you modify your body.
Yeah. And turns around and just abuses kids. Incredible. Yeah. That was
Very
the biggest
awful, very
that was the
awful.
biggest wake up call for me in the Catholic Church. I was like, holy fuck. No one talks about this.
Yeah.
And when people talk about it, it like goes away for so long. Or like, you know, people don't talk about it again. And I'm like,
It's because there's no
I'm
separation of church
angry.
and state.
I'm angry. Yeah.
Hi, Mobile. Topic today was why do families of color, why do parents of color specifically, try to police their children's bodies and what they do with them so strictly?
Yeah.
As in, like, tattoos or piercings and that kind of stuff. But
Any
also,
body modification.
if we think about it, too, it's also a lot of, like,
Even
body shaming.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think a lot of parents, you know, they think they're well-meaning, but you know, by trying to get you to take care of yourself or something, they're inadvertently taking care of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's I don't know. It's very very fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, where was I going with this? I forgot. Well, I was gonna say because we were talking about tattoos and piercings and body modification. I was just gonna say some parents will get mad at, you know, girls for cutting their hair short.
Yeah.
You know, cutting their hair pixie cut, boy short. It's small things like that. And, but yeah, sorry. Going back to, I was jumping between stuff in my brain,
No,
but
you're fine.
going back to body shaming, I think it really is the idea that, if we shame our kid into this behavior, they'll be healthier ultimately, when really they're not thinking about the mental damage that comes with that.
Yeah. I brought up body shaming because it's kind of like, you know, you exist and then you're like, you know, a parent could be like, oh, you're too fat, you're overweight, like you're eating too much. And then you lose weight and then they're like, why did you lose weight? Like now you're like too skinny or whatever. So it's very much just like, even when you try to do something of your own accord and stuff, even if it's as simple as like losing weight or gaining a little bit of weight, then it's like, it's still a problem. So it's like, how deeply do you need to police my body until you're happy?
Right. Yeah. So it's just, again, very much this idea of ownership and collectivism versus individualism.
Yes.
Where parents are like, no, you have to look good for me, you know, basically.
You have to look good so that I look good.
Yeah, and I was actually going to ask you. I dated many years ago. It ended horribly, if you're wondering, but I dated a non-binary person who immigrated from China, and they were telling me how saving face is so pervasive, and at least the families they knew, but just in China and a lot of East Asian communities in general.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that you have to like look good, you have to behave well, you have to, because everything you do is representing your family. And I was like, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it's definitely fucked up, but like I feel like actually I don't know if that's like super common here.
Like the idea of saving face.
Yeah, but I think among like Asian families and stuff, that's still like a very pervasive idea, even here, even if they've like immigrated here and have been for a while.
Yeah. So I think a lot of South Asian communities too.
I think Asia in general does it, but I think
because I know in India, I wasn't raised Indian, but part Indian. So when they're gonna judge me, but growing up, my biggest portal into Indian culture was watching Bollywood movies, and and Bollywood movies, The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, which I fucking love. Such a good movie. Yeah, you know, it was movies basically, and you know, very, very heavily, you know, saving face, you know, everything you did. More for, you know, the girls in the family than, you know, it's very patriarchal and misogynistic. But yeah, and I was like, damn, that sucks. Glad my dad's not here to do this. I don't know if he would have. Obviously, I'll never know if he would have. But I was like, well, thank God. I didn't have to save, you know, face for this family or, you know, have him raise me, because who knows how he would have raised me. I have no idea. But
it's like...
My mom's a good judge of character. If she didn't like him, then I probably wouldn't have either.
I don't know. Saving face has definitely been, like, a very important thing in, like, me and my brother being raised. If we, like, went out and were acting up and stuff, it was very much just, like, don't embarrass... Our parents would tell us, like, don't embarrass me, you know, as opposed to, like, don't do that, like, for whatever reason. It was very much like, stop doing that, because if people look at you, then they're going to think ill of us, and they're going to think that we can't keep you under control. Whereas, like, it should just kind of be, like, don't fucking be a nuisance to the public, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a very prevalent thing, but I think that it, like, has, you know, enough room even for, like, a stream in and of itself. But that one is harder, because I don't know if you can say that one's rooted in colonialism at all, because
which one, the body shaming?
No, the saving face.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Just because, like, you know, it's so rooted in, like, Asian culture and stuff that it's like,
it's the collectivism versus individualistic societies, I think, or cultures. Yeah. Where, you know, what really makes the U.S. different is that the self is very, or the idea of the self is very
hive mind,
very emphasized. But yeah, you can never really win with those kinds of situations in family. I'm thankful I didn't grow up in a family that was very body shaming. I mean, my dad was always making comments about what I wore, but that was about the worst of it.
I have body dysmorphia.
I get a little sometimes too, so I know what it's like. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I've had, you know, a few occasions where my dad was like, don't dress like that. Like, I can see the side of your boob. Don't dress like a slut. And I was like, holy shit! Don't talk to me like that. Yeah. I was like, please leave me alone. I'm in high school. I was 16. I was 17 at the time, and I was like, stuck with me. Just really stuck with me.
Yeah. There was one time I had a girlfriend over, and after she left, my mom was like, hey, you should tell her to not wear that top anymore. It wasn't you.
It was me.
Were we dating already? And I didn't know.
Your future you was dating me, so no.
But yeah, it was very much just like, oh, you should tell your girlfriend not to wear that anymore, just because, like, you know, we could see, like, her boobs or whatever. And I was like, good, pay up, bitch.
I get to see them for free, not you.
But yeah, it's just wild that like something like that can extend to somebody that's not even in their family.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Very, very shook that my dad said that to me. I was like, oh, dress like a slut. When I went to Davis, I was like, oh, slutty times all the time. I'm gonna dress like a slut whenever I want because my dad's not here to shame me.
Steve Smith says we should try an arm wrestle challenge. She would win.
I won't win. I have little chicken arms.
I know. I'm just trying to make you look good.
I hate this family. Wait, I don't have a surface going on though. Oh.
Looks like I win. Look at that. Wow, incredible.
I have to. Never mind. Or I don't have my phone because it's charging. But there's these like thigh-high socks. They're like high socks that are little chicken legs. So this guy was.
Oh, I saw those at the gym.
This guy was working out and he was like pressing, and he was like little chicken legs.
Me.
Yeah. Oh, I should get that little chicken arms. I mean, I guess that would be little wings, but.
35 kilograms. 35 times 2.2 is
70. Wait.
Just about, yeah.
70 pounds?
It's like 100 no.
Are you sure it's times 2?
2.2.
2.2.
So 35, 2.2 is 70 and 70. So, wait. Or maybe divided. No. 35 kilograms.
Thank you. Sorry. That's a very nice comment. Well, I got that skirt for Christmas because I told my mom it made me think of Sailor Moon, something Sailor Moon would wear. So she was like, Merry Christmas.
770. No way.
I can't. I
It's
trust you
definitely not right.
translating that. I mean, 70 pounds. You couldn't.
35 kilograms in pounds. $77.6. Oh, oops. Yeah, okay, I was right. I was just forgetting about the fucking decimal point. 77.16 pounds.
You disappoint me. No, kidding.
I know.
No, you do not.
Disappointed me too.
No.
Wow. Yeah, mobile.
That's pretty light.
Yeah, that's very light.
That's very light. I think. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, but yeah, I think in most situations like that, putting on healthy weight is a good idea. You know, if it happens naturally, you know, I feel bad, you know, if you were forced to do it, but I was also underweight. I think I told you I was underweight for a majority of my life. I was 11 or 12, and I still weighed 57 pounds, and it was not. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I was just like, I guess I have a time metabolism. I don't know. And I had to go to UCLA, and they scanned my wrists. I don't know why. I mean, I understand a little more now. I guess there's like a bone plate they can analyze here to assess your growth and what your growth is going to look like for the rest of your life. And they're like, yeah, you're fine. You're just underweight.
Yeah, I've always, well, I mean now too, probably. I've always been overweight, and so been trying to not be overweight. But it's harder it's harder to lose weight than it is to gain, I think.
Oh, for me, it was so hard to gain weight. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean like that. But, yeah, I think if you're at a healthy weight, who gives a shit? Underweight, overweight. I mean, I feel like in the case of mobile, I think you should gain a little bit of weight. Just should, if you could.
Because then mobile's around our age too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
very light. But, yeah, I think as long as, no matter what, I feel like there shouldn't be this thing of underweight, overweight. Because there's just a healthy weight, you know, you should be at.
As long as you're...
that looks very different from person to person. Mm-hmm.
As long as you are, you know, healthy and not suffering from adverse health issues due to your weight, then I think you should be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
But obviously we're not doctors.
We're not doctors,
We are not doctors, and we cannot give proper medical advice.
Taking at total face value, that does sound very light to me, but if you are happy and healthy... then, but it was hard for me to gain weight growing up. Now, not so much. But yeah, it's very weird. I don't understand my body sometimes.
I simply exist as a ball.
You do not.
I used to go to the gym 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week, and I would just pump
Guys,
the fuck out of the iron.
Give Jeremy words of affirmation, because this is an intervention. Actually, this is
The affirmations that you should be giving me are that I should be going back to the gym.
No, I think if you were happy and healthy, like you said it yourself, there are no adverse health effects related to your weight. Then I
For
see
mobile,
no problem.
not for me. I'm different.
For everyone.
No. So I have an illness that I will always lose weight and probably have to take permanently to not lose weight.
Gotcha.
Hyperthyroidism, perhaps?
Maybe. I don't know. For me, when I dropped these are not the words of affirmation I wanted.
That's I do home workouts, but it just doesn't feel the same, you know? Like I'm very like situational, very conditional. So it's like I spent all that time at the gym, and so my routine became go to the gym like every day when I have some free time. But now, like, since the gyms and stuff are closed, then I don't have like that atmosphere of the gym to help facilitate me working out. So it's just like I don't have a barbell here, so I can't do proper deadlifts. And like I don't have like all the cables and stuff, so I can't do other like cable stuff either. So it's harder for me to do home workouts. So
it's okay.
I do home workouts every once in a while, but I don't know about any of those things. Biology, science, history, politics. I don't know shit about any of them.
And that's okay. I may be stupid.
Oy.
That's it.
A broomstick and a rice bags. What am I, Mulan? Water buckets.
Someone said Mulan. Wait, did I tell you Mulan 2020 wanted what Kung Fu
Yeah, you told me.
I think about that. I've been thinking about that a lot lately because it's very true.
It's
but I feel like you don't have to work unless it's something. It's something that really brings you joy, and it's something
It does.
Yeah, but even right now, when you can't do gym stuff, then I feel like you should not place your value in how much you work out or in I don't know.
Sounds fake.
You should, I guess, the way Tom, my therapist, would say it is just do what serves you, I guess. What Marie Kondo was trying to tell us all along. Don't throw away shit because you think it's wasteful or extravagant. Just throw away the shit that doesn't make you happy. And that's why that's why that lady had 12 pinball machines in her room. Because she was like, I know people tell me it's like wasteful, but I love collecting pinball machines. This is like a
that's fair.
hobby of mine.
That's a hobby, yeah.
Yeah, so Marie Kondo was like,
then
don't.
Out.
Yeah, there you go. Live your life.
Wait, I didn't hear about this. She had 12 pinball machines?
12 or 10 or something.
That's still a lot.
It's a lot of pinball machines, but I guess her bedroom is big enough to kind of have them all kind of there on display.
Jesus.
And
what kind of fucking studio apartment bedroom
Okay, we're moving on. Okay. But yeah. But you gotta do that with your life, I think. You gotta really do that. Really just, if you want to keep 12 pinball machines, because when that's the first thing you want to see when you wake up, because it makes you so happy, then do it. What?
I just want to I want to work out until I am the sexiest person in every single establishment that I walk into. If I cannot walk into an establishment and immediately everybody wants to fuck me, I have not succeeded.
I'm sorry, babe. That's already me. So.
I know.
No.
So like,
Okay.
obviously, I have to be the second sexiest.
No, you already are.
No.
The first sexiest. I was just joking about me. I look like a Muppet.
Nope.
So. I
Nope.
do. I look like a little Muppet. No.
No.
I don't know. Which Muppet would I even look like? I look like the one with the orange one with the scruffy hair and little... What's his name? Meep. That's me. All he says is Meep.
Are you serious?
I think so. That's me. I'm not...
I don't know Muppets lore well enough.
I don't know it well enough either.
The only Meep I know is the fish from SpongeBob. You know, the like little long lanky ones.
Oh.
Meep.
Oh yeah. That's me too, guys.
No.
I look like
You are
the
not
meat fish.
You are not a fish nor a muppet. You are a goddess among men.
No.
You
I
walk
am
and
not.
the earth covers the
I'm
ground.
very goofy. Oh,
God,
I guess
what is
there's
with
a lot
this
of meeps. Maybe it's a very lovable. I mean, it's an easy thing to say. All the voice actors have to say is meep.
Meep.
I'm pretty sure that's all. I could be wrong about the Muppet thing, so please don't quote me on that.
I know who you're talking about. I just like did
Little
not
scruffy,
know
like-
that he only said meep.
I'm pretty sure, but I guess we'll never know.
What if it's just all the same soundbite?
Yeah, it could be.
Meep. That guy's just getting royalties for like forever.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one guy voicing all these Meep characters, the fish
Meep.
and the Phineas and
Meep.
Ferb
Meep.
Meep characters. Wow, honestly, I'd like to be known as the Meep guy.
Me too. I'd like to be known as a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Bye, Mobile. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, enjoy it. Or,
Or night.
evening, or night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Morning, noon. No. Enjoy the rest of your noon. No.
I think it's evening, probably.
Yeah. Or is it afternoon? I guess you could say enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows?
Oh, well, you can say enjoy the rest of your afternoon, but I think for mobile, it's evening.
Yeah, you're way ahead of us. I think like 9 hours ahead. Oops, sorry. I'm gonna pass it to you. I wanted to show my tattoo off. Oh, 12:20 a.m. Oh yeah, go to sleep. I'm a grandma. I'm in bed by 11. Sometimes earlier if I'm feeling crazy. Which is a lot of time. Which is actually when I have to go to work. Just swishing.
Yeah. I just like started feeling something in my throat, and I was like, "Uh
Oh.
oh."
Oh, I was gonna say coronavirus.
No. Sometimes I just get like random like pain that just like kind of goes down there.
Oh, weird.
It's weird. Yeah, I think it's I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Well, I don't want to
It's
say
your
that.
thyroid pumping out hormones. I don't know.
Make your time -3 and then change AM to PM. So yeah, like 15 hours.
Oh wow, way more. I thought it was 9 hours. I was like, whoo.
7 PM for you. It's 4 AM. Jesus. Oh, so that's like 9 hours actually. Yeah, you were right.
Oh wait, I was.
Yeah, you were right.
I'm a genius.
Please fuck me.
I'm sorry, I'm Catholic.
Me too. I'm not.
Okay.
I think we've kind of discussed it. Because, I mean, we won't really be able to answer the question of why, like, parents of color or, like, parents in general. Because, like, white parents will obviously do it too.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I feel like we won't be able to answer that question unless either we interview our parents or maybe even become parents ourselves.
Yeah.
But it's like, I feel like if I'm a parent, I'm not going to police what my kid can or can't do to their body as long as it's not, like, hard drugs at a young age. Or hard drugs
harmful.
in general.
Yeah. Anything, any, like, body harm, anything
Yeah.
like that would obviously be a quick cause for concern.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know if I'll ever understand it because we were raised so differently.
Yeah.
At least compared to my mom. You know. And my dad, I guess, too.
Yeah, your mom was an immigrant too, right?
Yeah, and she immigrated here when she was 20, so she was already kind of older. Yeah.
My parents were also immigrants.
It's, you know what I just realized, though? It's weird that my dad is so against body modification. When he was raised here, he was born and raised in San Diego. My mom wasn't.
Were his parents immigrants?
Yeah, his parents were immigrants.
So what that might be is that he was brought up in the culture of, like, you know, wherever his parents immigrated from.
Yeah.
And
Mexico.
yeah. And then maybe
Yeah.
just like like that time period of when he was being raised was not like forward enough or was not like individualistic enough for him to kind of be able to explore those things. So he's still culturally minded in line with his parents.
Right. I was just saying because it's just likes to be controlling. But
That's
yeah.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But I think that's
very
another
kind of
big
weird to
problem.
think about. Yeah. Yeah, parents just
Parental control.
parental control. Yeah.
The only parental control that should be around is on televisions to control what you see, because sometimes when you're 5 years old, you don't want to see porn.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, San Diego conservative? Oh, interesting.
Mystery solved.
Mystery
kind
solved.
of, I guess I would say, yeah. It all makes sense. It's called San Diego.
San Diego, yeah.
It's like Saint Diego.
Yeah.
Whoa, Diego's a saint.
Wow.
Oh,
No,
wow.
he's not.
He's a
He
weird
games too
kid, but
much.
he's definitely
He
not a
games too
saint.
much.
He was laughing last night because one of his friends got video or chat banned, or voice banned.
Chat-
So, is it chat banned or voice chat banned?
It's either or.
Yeah, because he was like laughing. He was like talking to me, and he was saying, "Oh, I'm on voice chat with my friend." He was like, "Gabe says hello." He was banned, and he was losing. He was just cracking up because
That's
he didn't
so
even know why
funny.
he was banned. He was like,
Probably said something bad. Or somebody
Yeah.
just reported him for
for no reason.
Yeah, just to be
Yeah.
petty. But there was this really funny video that I saw. You know how like all the latest Xboxes and stuff, or like certain versions of them, I guess you can like say Xbox on or Xbox off,
"Yeah."
and it turns on or off. First of all, creepy. Second of all,
Sorry, I'll say after.
the video that I saw was like these guys were playing, like, you know, they had like their little group, and then somebody else had some like random little kid had like filled in with them.
Mhm.
And they were just like playing and stuff, and the kid was just being like awful, just being like a little bitch. And he accidentally let slip that like he was playing on his Xbox, and like you could hear the echo because he wasn't using his headphones.
Oh,
Like he
it's
had the microphone, and so like the guys that were playing, yeah, they like heard the echo. And the kid was like, "Yeah, I'm playing on Xbox." And one of them was like, "Oh, for real?" And the kid was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, for sure. Xbox off." And you hear it echo, and the guy's like, "Why would you say that?" And then it says like he leaves the game, and I was just like, "Got his ass."
I'm forcibly
Removed from the lobby.
the Xbox. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
So
those
crazy. That's
fucking
useful.
those are so funny to me.
Yeah.
When people just do that from like just like different like places,
Mhm.
so funny.
I was thinking of I don't think I showed you, but that Evangelion parody. Have I showed you? Where it's like very it's like an animated parody someone made. The style, I don't know who did it, but it was just some guy on YouTube. And there's a scene where he's in the Evangelion. He's like, "Alright, I'm piloting. Xbox One, turn on." Evangelion turns on. I'll show it to you. I have so many.
Those are so funny, dude.
I love Evangelion parodies because they really get it. They really get it.
There was another one that I saw a long time ago, and it was not like an Xbox or anything. It was a like computer or something. But it was connected to like one of those outlets where like one of those smart outlets where like you can like Alexa controls it or whatever.
Right.
And so like it's some guys like playing Smash or whatever, and they're streaming, but they have like text to speech donations on, and someone donates some money and sets the message as, "Alexa, turn the power off," and then it just turns everything off. And like they're just like, "Oh shit," and then the stream just cuts off.
Oh. Wow, modern. What a modern time we live in. I'm just thinking of actually the video where the kid was saying, "Alexa, play this," and she starts listing off porn, and he's like, "Alexa, stop," and then he turns off.
Those things, man.
I love that so much. Crazy.
What did he
stuff.
say? He wanted like Jingle Bells or something, right?
He was playing. He said Tigger, like play a Tigger song.
Oh.
I don't know what Alexa heard though, because she was like, "Oh."
Alexa was like, "I'm gonna ruin this kid's life."
I'm not gonna say all this string of NSFW words.
Horse on fours.
I don't know if I like that, but anywho, saying all these bad things, and then you could hear them on the back and go like, "No," and then the person filming was like, "Alexa, stop, stop."
He's only 5.
Yeah, poor kid. He's probably like, "Why was everyone freaking out?" And then he grows up and he's like, "Oh.
I see."
Oh.
But he's got a story to tell, you know? So
Yeah. So now we're done talking about tattoos, but I did want to ask a question. Not related to tattoos, because this is the last stream of last podcast of 2020. So I was going to ask, what was your favorite time of 2020? or favorite memory, favorite thing you did in 2020. I was just curious because I was asked this question. I was like, It made me think.
That's a good question. I think a good part of my 2020 was obviously, being able to spend it with you. And just like being able to foster this, relationship that we have with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, I was able to take some pretty big steps towards like furthering my career as like both a streamer and like a voice actor and stuff. And just being able to take myself away from, the cesspool that is Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And being able to, actively put my time towards things that matter to me as opposed to like, coming home and being so exhausted from dealing with so much and just being basically like an alcoholic at that point. So being able to like step away from that and cut back on all the, drinking and consumption of, just bad things for your body.
Yeah.
And then being able to, set a proper, solid stream schedule and just being able to kind of like slowly build my community. I think I've gotten to, through the course of 2020 and maybe even since I quit Whole Foods, I think I've gained like 20 followers or something on Twitch, which, fucking phenomenal. It's not much, obviously. I'm only at like 104, 105, but like it's better than when I was at like 50 or 60.
Right.
And it took me like forever to get here, and I don't have boobs, and I'm not a conventionally attractive e-girl.
Do you want me next podcast? You can tell me how to dress.
But yeah, it's just, it's like it's very hard to like grow organically and stuff, but I'm making do with what I can with the resources and time that I have. So I think it's I'm thankful for the opportunities that I've come into. Also, yes, Rivia, I'm a voice actor.
Yeah. Feel free to connect. Connect with any voice acting gigs.
Yeah, if you need my voice for anything, hit me up. Just be like, hey, can you voice this thing for me? And I will do what I can. I don't have any, professional gigs under my belt, but I'm making my way there. So if you wanna, I don't know, help me help you, So
yeah.
2020 made Jeremy and I way closer than we were in 2019. It felt like I almost lost you. What the fuck are you talking about?
You almost died.
You just don't remember.
You don't remember.
You don't remember because you're almost
tell
dead.
You. Yeah. You were catatonic like a goat. You're like.
I mean, 2019, I think, was because I was in Irvine.
Yeah.
So 2019 Irvine was like I was far from like all the friends that I had back here and stuff. So it was just it was rough.
Yeah, I get that.
Thank you, Rivia. I appreciate that. If I had business cards, I would send you some. But
just draws on a little note card.
Yeah, just a little. I'll just get a little post-it note.
Here's my Twigo. This is my widow.
Yeah. My widow call you. If you could please help me, please. I would greatly appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I'd say that's good.
What about you?
Maybe. Favorite memories, I think, were definitely going to Davis and also celebrating my birthday together because I was all pre-COVID. I think. I guess really all the stuff I got to do pre-COVID this year were definitely my favorite memories because those were the few times I went out or few times we made plans and, went out. And, yeah, I would say those are my favorite. But definitely one of my favorite was our anniversary because it, that wasn't pre-COVID, but I still think it turned out, I don't know. I went in, I was like, I don't know what we're going to do, but I'm just very happy to spend time with you. And then we just did a lot of unexpected stuff, which was really fun. Startled me.
It's catcalling me.
Yeah.
I know I'm thick.
So I'd say those are probably, if I was to pick specific memories, pre-COVID and the times we went out during pre-COVID and our 1-year anniversary. And yeah, and I would say that I'm happy I went to therapy because talking about the weight gain stuff earlier, I didn't realize I was losing so much weight last year because of PTSD, which is a very real connection that, which I didn't really think about until that point. I was like, wow, my mental health is affecting my body to this point where I'm just dropping weight like crazy. And that makes, I guess, now looking back, I'm like, holy shit, yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, 2019 was just very rough in general. Because not only was I dealing with that, I was dealing with like what I called post-grad depression, where I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know, do I want to do grad school? For sure. What do I want to do? I don't have a job, so there's that stress of like, how am I going to pay for, how am I going to pay to move out? How am I going to afford to move out? So just a lot of like uncertainty and a lot of just negative stuff really floating around in my brain for most of last year. But this year, I kind of learned to kind of take things in stride. I learned that I'm capable of change and capable of bettering myself, not only for myself, but also in my relationships, because that's what I told Jeremy I was like scared of the most. I was so scared of like hurting people I really cared about because I wasn't a good communicator, because I wasn't a good, I feel like I wasn't at a point where I could be a good friend or as good a friend as I could be, or a good a friend as I was to my close friends in the past. I really felt like I wasn't delivering on those relationships. I felt like I couldn't be a good partner. And and just undergoing therapy. And yeah, post-grad depression really is real. It's a real thing. No one tells you about it. So I was very, shocked. I almost didn't get out of bed for like a month. It was awful.
It's because we live in a culture of success.
Yeah.
No one wants to tell you about the things that they had to like suffer through.
Right. And there was also the stress of just not having a job paired with that, and the stress of the PTSD. And so it was just so much. All I did was sleep. I think all of September, October, all I did was sleep. It was such a depressing time.
Wow. It's like right when I came around.
I'm so sorry.
No.
I'm so sorry. I'm prefacing that.
No.
Prefacing our relationship with me going through such a not great time. So I'm very, very happy in 2020, very grateful that I had the opportunity to move past that and really grow past that and realize how I was coping with a lot of these things was not good, and that was really what was affecting, or really what was producing those feelings that I had surrounding my relationship. So just really gaining the capability to grow and and realizing that I'm still going to be growing. It just really made me very optimistic for the future, very happy that I'm here, and with the, people that I hold close to me are still here. I can't speak for everyone. Obviously, this year was incredibly jam-packed with a lot. So I know I'm very, I'm privileged to be at this point. So I'd say, all in all, definitely a lot of ups and downs this year. But I would say for me personally, feel like I had a lot of growth. You know what that is? Growth. I had a lot of that this year. What?
You just made me so
Oh,
emotional.
no, I was like, did I? I'm sorry.
No, I was just
Oh
yawning.
yeah.
Sorry.
And I was like, I think you just yawned. But for a second, I was like, what did I say? I'm sorry. So I'm really looking forward to
21,
continuing
baby.
to do this with you guys and to continue live, laugh, and loving. Continuing to just grow, really.
Yeah. Eventually we will reach a point where we are living together. And then we might.
You're gonna know how hard I am to put up with. Sorry.
No. I mean, when we reach that point, we might do this more often. We might keep it to just like Sundays and stuff. But kind of, it'll just open up some doors for us. So.
Yeah, something to look forward to in 2021.
21, baby.
It's already happened. Friday, guys. Right in your
Tuesday
calendar.
again. No problem.
But yeah, I hope everyone listening also at least recall some good times of this year. And if you didn't, do not feel bad about that. Do not feel, are you okay? But yeah, don't feel like you had to make progress or had to be productive or had to have had something good come out of this year, because sometimes you go through a bad year.
Yeah. And a lot of people, a lot of people would approach me and be like, hey, like, I just feel really shitty because, like, I haven't been able to do anything with myself. I haven't been able to, like, put anything out or be productive and stuff, like, amidst this, like, pandemic, just because I'm so focused on, like, just trying to stay alive. And I would always offer them the same advice is, this is an unprecedented occasion for us, especially. We've never lived through a pandemic before. We've lived through, like, minor ones like SARS or H1N1, but nothing to this degree. So obviously we are not, like, fully equipped, and we're not, we were thrown into this with no real preparation. And so I feel like it's, it's natural to try and focus your efforts towards just trying to stay alive and stay healthy and keep the people around us safe as well. And, like, people are upset because they're like, oh, like, I was so much more productive last year than I was this year. There also wasn't the threat of literally dying if you go the fuck outside last year. So it's, like, you might not have been able to do as much as you did this year than you did last year, but that doesn't make you any less of a person, and that doesn't mean that you grew any less than you did last year. So, yeah. It's my 2 cents on that.
Also, I forgot to say this, but when I was talking about last year when I couldn't get out of bed, you really got me out of bed. That one time I was really.
Sure, in bed too.
Oh, okay.
When? What are you talking about?
I don't know, because I wasn't going out. I wasn't really.
Oh, you mean when I asked you out?
Yeah.
Oh.
I wasn't really. I was very isolated in that time. It was a very shitty time. But this guy really. I don't know. When you asked me, or when I asked you, dang, I don't have anything to put my arm on. Wait.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it was something that I was like, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm very excited to get out of the house.
I had no idea, so.
Well, yeah. I feel so bad, like, saying that, and then you're like, that was around the time I came in, huh?
No, I mean, I was just tipsy.
Observing?
Yeah, and then I was tipsy, and then you messaged me, and then I was like, would you like to do something?
Yeah.
And then now here we are, like a year and some later.
So I will say you and a lot of other people in my life really helped me move past that point, so yeah. Yeah, sorry to get all cheesy, but you
Good
can
thing
dip
I've got
it.
lactase.
Yeah, you can dip it. It's like a nacho. You could dip in. What if I was just like, holy shit, yeah. It's just like you see floating cheese. I don't know.
I would lose my mind. I think.
Lose my mind too. I think I'm a wizard.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Yeah.
But yeah,
a wizard.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd have a cool cat sitting on my shoulder, a staff, a pointy hat.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Oh wait. I don't remember exactly what defines a witch or a wizard. They're not supposed to be gender thing. J.K. Rowling kind of fucked that up for all of us, but I think wizard is more like.
Wizard is like
sorcery, and then witches are more like.
Wiccan.
Like you think of like herbal. Yeah, I was gonna say like they have like. I don't know how to describe it, but anywho,
that was really good. I think that was really good. That was good.
My brain had like a.
No, I do that all the time.
Yeah. But yeah. I think that's the difference. I think I'd be a wizard.
So too.
Who would you be?
I would very much be a witch.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you'd be a wizard.
No. I'm very much about like the whole like Wiccan aspect of things.
I like that too. So I don't know.
Who knows?
Wait, there's sorcerer, there's wizard,
warlock,
witch.
I think sorcerer and warlock are like maybe a subsect of wizards.
Wizard? Yeah.
But who knows?
I have no idea. I wish I knew. I don't play D&D, so.
I play Ace Attorney, apparently.
They have wizards in Ace Attorney?
No, I've just been
Oh.
reduced to that. To strictly that.
That's fair.
I've got, what? God, like 6 fucking games left. I'm starting the next one tomorrow.
Oh, good luck. Those things sound... Well, they look and sound very, very long. You know what you should play? I've only ever played 3DS games. I was gonna say you should play
Spyro.
Spyro.
I do
I
have
love that
I do have a
game.
3DS like thing that I can play on.
You
so.
could, but you could connect it to here?
Well, I just have it.
That'd be interesting. You do not have to play Spyro, but every Christmas time I always think about Spyro because
I just have this.
oh
And then I have games
oh
here.
interesting. I didn't know you could do that. But I got Spyro for Christmas in 2008, and to this day I think that's still my favorite gift because I played it religiously.
Do you ever finish it?
I did. I
Oh.
finished it like 12 times. Funny story, when I was close to the end, I was like defeating the final boss, Malefor. And I think my dad was like annoyed with me or something. And he was like, oh, if you do this, like I'm taking away your 3DS. And I did the said thing. So right as I was playing it, he came in and he was like, I told you like not to do that thing again. So give me your DS. And I was like, shit. And I gave it to him. I was so mad. I was like, I was this close. And I had to wait like a week until I gave it back. I was so mad. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. I was so close. Spyro's dead. He's waiting for me in there. Like, why have I been
Like a Tamagotchi.
Elijah Wood's like, why have you abandoned me? Yeah, so I'll never forget that. But yeah, that's one of my favorite Christmas gifts and video games of all time. Kind of crushed my tiny little fingers. What if you heard a and I was like,
I saw
I can't move them.
I saw a TikTok of like this dude. It was just like a bunch of fucking people in a car, and they were like very clearly like frat bros and shit. It was just like awful, but like one of them had like broken his ankle, and it was like very clearly broken. But I guess like maybe
Was it, like moving around like his foot was
no, like just the ankle was like disgustingly like swollen and bruised, and you could definitely see that it was just like not the way that it should look. And I don't know if it was because they were inebriated or if it was because like they legitimately just didn't know. But I think that they thought it was dislocated, and so
They tried.
yeah. And so they tried to like pop it back in, and they're like, okay, we're gonna count down from like 3, and then as soon as we hit 1, we're just gonna pop it, okay? And everyone was like, okay, and you can like hear the guy just like losing his mind a little bit because he's like, holy fuck, oh my god, this is gonna hurt
I'd be
so
terrified.
bad.
Yeah.
And then they do it, and then you just hear the crunch of like the bone against bone and just like making it worse. And then it pops like the other fucking direction because there's no joint for it to pop back into. And then like the camera like pans over to the guy that like the leg belongs to. He's out. He's just passed out.
Oh my god.
It was the second most horrifying thing I've ever seen. The first one
I don't wanna
was
see it.
the first one was the back of an ambulance with a kid like in the stretcher, and he's like just out of it, be it like adrenaline or painkillers or what, but he's out of it.
Oh my god.
And then they like move the camera down, you just see like a fence, and it looks like he's like stuck in the fence. Because it looked like he had like jumped and like tried to like either jump over the fence or jump like I don't know on it or whatever, but his legs are like through the bars, and so it's like stuck. And then I watched it like a few more times because I was like, that's not that bad. Why is he so loopy? It was the top of the fence, and one of like the bars that was like at the top had gone up his kneecap into his thigh. Yeah,
he was impaled, kind of.
Yeah, he was impaled, just straight up.
Those are my worst night as a kid. When you see those like fences with the point, I'm like, what if I just fell on one of those? Just out of nowhere, out of the blue, I'm on it like a little skewer.
Joseph almost does that.
Yeah.
Joestar.
Oh, what? I feel like we
It's
saw
like
that already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in part 3.
Vaguely
he-
remember.
Yeah, he like tries to jump over a fence into like
Oh yeah, and he's like
into the car, and then he's like, "Wait, fuck!" And they're like, "Why are you fucking back there?" And he's like, "I'm old. Stop."
I'm senile. No, that's crazy. If word of advice, if something is not dislocated, I think if it's swollen and bruised like that,
I mean, dislocating it will also like swell it up,
Really?
but
I don't think that much.
I don't think it
though.
will bruise.
Yeah,
because the bruising obviously comes because you've ruptured like a lot of blood vessels and stuff, and I think if it's just dislocated, it shouldn't bruise that badly.
I don't think so. It shouldn't look bad, I guess.
Yeah.
And if it's like quick enough, if you like can do it quick enough, I don't think you'll see anything.
Yeah.
Because Elena dislocated her arm a few times.
Yeah, you
My
can
uncle
pop
would be
that shit
like,
back in.
And I was like, mm-mm.
Yeah, just hit it again.
Mm-mm.
Just turn it off and turn it on.
Yeah, I've never dislocated anything, but I have sprained my ankle. I have sprained my pinky.
Broken your foot.
I've sprained my wrist a few times, and I broke my foot. Yeah.
The worst thing I've ever done is the car accident, because that like split my bone open, and now I've got like screws in there.
Yeah.
So.
What are you gonna do?
Just a little fun bit of information about my body.
Just girly things.
Just girly things. She's a lesbian now. Do you know that?
Me?
No.
Oh, I was like,
the just girly things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've heard it. I've heard that.
Very cute.
I was very confused for like a second. I was like, oh, I don't think I. Am I?
No, it was very interesting to me because when I found out about her being a lesbian, I also found out that she takes all of the pictures behind those like images.
Oh, there were stock images.
I'm sure that they started out as like stock images and stuff, but at some point like she started taking her own pictures and putting them as like the background for those. And then when she like I think the thing that like drew people's attention to her being a lesbian was that one of like the blog posts for like just girly things was two girls like in the background, like, you know, cuddling or kissing or whatever, and people were like, wow, oh my gosh, she's gay. And she was like, that's me and my girlfriend.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah,
so much lore we're unlocking on famous internet icons.
I know. But
good for her though. I remember
good for her,
I found that
honestly.
and I was like, oh,
these are just girly things.
Yeah. I thought most of them were submitted by other people.
Some of them probably are.
Like they would submit some to her and then she'd put them on to like a picture. So that's why I was like, oh, when I saw that, I was like, oh, you know, it's probably, you know, someone who's Wooloo submitted that and they just put it on and they were like, and I was like, that's kind of cool, but I didn't know that was her. And then I was like, oh wait, she's Wooloo. Makes sense.
Very, very neat little thing.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
But yeah, you know,
growth.
this is, as you say, the end of 2020. We've made it.
I know. I don't know. This
I don't know
year
how.
is a blur.
Yeah.
We're still in March 2.0, 4.0.
Yep. We're November 3.
Yeah, November 3. Oh, the only important dates. March, November 1st through the 5th. Because of all the supernatural stuff, and that was it. That was it. Honestly,
that actually
time.
reminded me of another TikTok that I saw before you got here. It was this kid who had gotten into like a snowboarding accident where he like fell and bashed his head against a tree. And like he wasn't like, you know, horribly injured. It was just like some scratches like on his face, like here. But the paramedic in the ambulance was talking to him and was like, hey, like, do you know like what day it is? Do you know like what like where you are, what happened? And he like couldn't really remember what happened. But then when the paramedic was like, okay, do you know like what month it is or like what day it is? The kid was like, okay, I got this. I think it's July. And he got like, that means he got smacked back 5 fucking months.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah. Was this year? Or?
Yeah, it was a recent one.
So, it had to be, like, just pandemic affecting our sense of time so bad that he was like, July?
I think he probably just bashed his head so hard that, like, it, like, scrambled him.
Maybe it was both? I don't
Maybe.
know. I feel like it'd be very, if you asked me, like, what day it is.
Yeah, I would also have to
think
about it.
I don't know, but I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm on a fucking mountain. On a mountain. Oh, that was awful. I hiked through, there were these stalks that were taller than me that I had to hike through yesterday. And it was such an awful time. Sorry, I'm complaining about work all of a sudden, but
no, you're fine.
I was just thinking about it, and there was a moment where I panicked, and I was like, am I stuck here? Because all around me, all I see are these giant, like, tall stalks that are all brittle, and they all kind of hurt. They all kind of whack me when I hike through them. And I don't know, there's like a weird switch in my brain that...
Just take the axe.
I should have, but, you know, I had to hike in anyway, so people probably would have been like, ma'am, why do you have an axe? There was like a weird flip switch in my brain where I was just like, all right, we're getting through this. So I just put my arms like this, and I just walked very forcibly through, and I made it.
Yeah.
Don't know how I did it.
Should have like gone back to your car and then like got an axe, and then somebody was like, "Where are you going with that axe?" And you're like, "Forest haunted." Like that one.
Chopping down some trees.
Like that post where it's just like comes back down, grabs a gun. And Houston's like, "Where are you going?" Moon's haunted.
Yeah, I wish I had a machete sometimes, because some of the
Sexy
construction crews have machetes so they can get in. I think that's what they use to make like trails over there. So I was like, great, that would be so much more convenient because my axe is kind of heavy and not quite for this, but I don't know what it's for, to be honest. Haven't used it yet, but yeah, I'm going out of 2020 working almost all this week.
Okay. But yeah.
Yeah.
You know, 2020 is over. 2020 is 4 days from over, and then we are into 2021, and it's going to be a brand new year full of brand new opportunities and brand new changes in our lives and stuff. So, you know, take it in stride. Don't try to hold on to things that do not benefit you. Don't hold on to things that you don't need, because going forward it's going to be a lot of extra stuff, and the vaccine is coming, so that's going to bring about a pretty decent change, but we still have to be careful until everybody gets their 2 doses. So just be careful out there. Yeah, be safe, keep wearing a mask, and we're almost there. We're almost at the tail end of everything, so once we get there, then it's fucking party time.
Then it's baby boomers too.
Baby boomers too. Fucking might be, actually.
I might actually.
That's kind of worrying.
That kind of makes sense. Was there one
does.
after the Spanish flu pandemic?
I don't know.
That'd be interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll look it up right now.
I wonder.
We'll look it up. But yeah. Let's see. Tomorrow I start Ace Attorney Investigations 1, Miles Edgeworth, and
Here he is.
that's him. That's my dad. You are my dad. You're my dad. But yeah, this is gonna be my last week at work too, before I start working on, like moving and taking care of some other stuff that I wanted to take care of. I don't know if I'm gonna be off of work for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month, but I will probably try. I'll probably like try to add a couple days to the stream schedule, just because I'll be off from work at that point. And I kind of want to be able to just like push forward with this, as well as like the voice acting stuff. And there's also, I signed up for like real estate classes like forever ago, and I just like never did them. And I got a second email recently that was like, oh, you've only got like 70 days left before it expires. And like, I'm panicking a little bit. I can definitely finish it like in 70 days, but that's why I'm taking the time off from work, so that I can do that, so that I can take the exam and get my real estate license. So, if we stay here, then I'll have that, and then I'll be able to like get jobs there. If we go out to a different state, it's not gonna be valid anymore. But at least I'm gonna.
No, I didn't know that.
I think it won't be valid. I think it's California only. I think it's state by state.
Well, maybe you could certify it for the state. Maybe it's easier. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Is like if I go through it here and I get the license here, then if I go to another state and then I have to take it again, then I'll at least be a little bit more like well versed, and I won't have to like take that whole course again before I take the exam. I just need to study on like the differences and stuff.
Gotcha.
But yeah, thank you all for tuning in with us. Thank you all for spending 2020 with us. It's drawn to an end. Hopefully everybody makes it out of here safe and healthy and alive, most of all. I'll see you tomorrow with Ace Attorney.
I'll see you next week on January 3rd. Yeah.
Is it the 3rd?
The 3rd.
Wow, you're so smart.
I know. I looked at a calendar before I got here.
Oh yeah, you're actually right. But yeah, so we will see you next week, January 3rd, 2021, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, December 28th, 2004.
Happy 2004, guys.
Welcome to 2004. I'm growing out my hair so I can get a little scene bang. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in today. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Hope you enjoyed the topics, multiple topics that we dived into, I think.
Yeah.
We were. That's just how it is. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you next time. Bye.